Okay, guys, we interrupt this, or whatever you're watching now, I have to interrupt it, guys. This is huge. It looks like Evalion has become the main advisor for Richard Spencer. Yes, you heard me right. Evalion is now Richard Spencer's foreign policy advisor. And Brandon Martinez broke the story for me. I have to hand it to him. I've criticized Brandon a lot lately, and I'm sorry for that, Brandon. You earned it, but I'm sorry. I'm impressed that you come up with some good shit every now and then. And we're going to go to Brandon's article right now. Um, this was actually a couple weeks ago, but Brandon posted it today and made me aware of it. Um, Henrik Palmgren, the head guy at Red Ice, was promoting the Holodomor, whatever it is, that genocide in the Ukraine that racialists love to talk about when they want to say um get back at the Jews for promoting the Holocaust. Of course, they don't really get back at them because they got no media to screech it out like the Jews do. But he was promoting some movie that was pushing it. Richard Spencer felt the need to undermine this, and this is what he tweeted here, right here. Not Ukrainian genocide, but a famine caused by collectivization and natural factors, also affecting other areas, like Russia, the Caucasus. Now, my headline was that Evalion had become his advisor because a few weeks ago, Evalion, along with her new communist Bolshevik boyfriend, I'm not sure if he's what he is, but he loves Stalin for whatever reason, and they were promoting the exact same thing, which makes me say somebody's coordinating this message. And it was important enough for Richard Spencer to undermine the message of Henrik of Red Ice on a tweet on Twitter. And needless to say, it caused a bit of commotion. Now, before I go to the Twitter, let me just say Brandon got his, I don't know what Brandon's trying to do. He just had a secret video I exposed of him auditioning to join the alt-right. And now he's criticizing the leader of the alt-right. So, I'm not sure. And he especially went after his wife and made some unkind references about them sleeping together with his Russian wife. And we all know Brandon Martinez has a fixation on Vladimir Putin. And of course, when he applied for joining the alt-right, I wondered how this problem with Russia was going to work, considering that the whole alt-right is in the Dugin camp and the Vladimir Putin camp. They're actually support Russia, most of them. So, Brandon, I don't know, I appreciate the information that you gave us today, but I don't know that you did yourself any good, bro. If you need some advice, give me email me, and I got a few ideas for you. But let's go to Henrik Palmgren's tweet. Check this out. Did you hear about the Holodomor? Intentional starvation of over 10 million Ukrainians. Some people were pretty pissed. Okay, here's the tweet by Spencer undermining that. Merriweather, I'm scratching my head at why Richard Spencer would feel the need to publicly shit talk, counter signal this. I love it. I love it. Because Evalion's his advisor, and Evalion told him to do it. That's why. And we're going to get into that. I'm going to show you, I'm going to prove that Evalion's his advisor. I've got him on my homepage. And I actually made some pretty unkind tweets because they gave me an opening. And I just had to take it. because I'm only loyal to a real resistance, of which the alt-right is a Jewish resistance. We need a real resistance, guys, okay? So now let's go to my homepage. Yes! Let's go to the homepage. So Evalion is the face of the revolution. And that's Evalion.
This video is titled Why
Okay, I'll put this on. I'm going to let you listen to some of this.
One of the most evil men.
So, Evalion apparently is with a robot. You can tell he's a robot by the way he talks. It's not an American way of talking. So you figure it's one of the new robots that was just invented and put out by the Jews to sort of, work into society. And apparently this robot is now living with Evalion. Maybe they're married, I'm not sure. But anyway, Richard Spencer apparently is taking his advice from Evalion, and we will see. Now, to remind, Richard says not Ukrainian genocide, but a famine caused by collectivization and natural factors also affecting other areas, Russia, the Caucasus. And then later he says it was caused by drought. Not by communist policies, but by drought. Jews wouldn't do that to anybody. No! No! It was an accident! Okay, now let's hear, I'm going to let you hear a good bit of this. This is a great video. We're going to learn how good Stalin was. Remember, Stalin was the one half of the New World Order that took out Hitler and did us all a favor. Okay? And they're championing this dude. Remember, Evalion spent a few months reading Mein Kampf to everybody. Okay? And now she's talking this crap.
And was ever lived.
Some people call him a mass murderer, a psychopath. He was worse than Hitler himself.
Since the Cold War, Western propaganda has intentionally misrepresented him as so.
In this video, I will debunk the most common lies spread about Joseph Stalin via propaganda.
First, let's talk about the Holodomor.
The story about the deliberate starvation of Ukrainians, perpetuated by the Western media, is as flimsy as Iraq possessing weapons of mass destruction.
The famine happened all over the USSR, and since a genocide targets one group, the famine could have not been a genocide.
They also had a famine in the late 20s in Ukraine, and the Ukraine received more aid from the Kremlin at the time than any other region.
They were really trying to kill the Ukrainians. Why would they give them all this aid? There are even more facts about debunking the Holodomor. In fact, I could create a whole other video about it.
Moving on, most people despise Stalinists because they believe he was a globalist, but that is not true at all.
Stalin was a nationalist because he opposed Truman and Churchill's plan for a world government. His primary was...
What? Well, this totally leaves the Jew out of the equation. Acts like, see, they're lying here. The Cold War was a creation of Jewry to have us fighting each other, with Jewry controlling both sides. We were never being threatened by Russia. It was a pretend threat. Here, Evalion is selling you Jews don't exist. Stalin was, because they had this supposed breakup after the war, and Stalin took over half of Europe. Of course, recall, Patton was pissed because he wanted to get in Russia's way, and the U.S. just gave half of Europe to Russia. And why is that? Because that was the plan all along, to have a good bit of Europe taken over by communism. This is what Hitler was fighting against, guys. This is why we fought World War II, and we fought, if we were in the West and we were on for England or the U.S. or Russia, we fought for the Jews. I'm going to play a little bit more, but then I'm going to break it.
The Cold War.
He purged Trotsky and all of his followers for their extreme social liberalism and trying to undermine the sovereignty of Russia via breaking down of culture.
So some Jews who fought with each other over who was going to be in power, and Trotsky lost. Jews were still very powerful, powerful enough to be around Stalin close enough after World War II that they assassinated him. So Khrushchev took over. Khrushchev is a Jew. So the Cold War, the United States was controlled by Jews, England was controlled by Jews, and Russia was controlled by Jews. The Cold War was a sham. The nuclear weapons thing, whether or not there are really nuclear weapons or not, the idea that we were going to attack Russia or Russia was going to attack us, total bullshit. More or less like false flags and all this other kind of shit. They have to keep the goy fighting each other so Jews can make a profit and globalize the world. Now I'm going to leave this, and if you want to come back to it, I'll link the article that includes the tweets and includes this video under this video. And come back to here. Hello, guys. So, as you can see, Richard Spencer almost parroted what Evalion and her boyfriend, a red fascist dictator, were saying. Now, who said what first? I'm not sure. Richard Spencer said it on the 6th. Maybe they have the same handler, Jewish handler, and Evalion and Richard all went to the same meeting, right, with red fascist dictator. And then they all came out, and Evalion made this video. And Richard Spencer told Heinrich to tweet about the Holodomor so he could refute it. I don't know, but don't expose yourself too much, okay? Don't expose yourself, because we will be there. Brandon, kudos to you, bro. You're still my enemy. I still believe you're compromised, but you do come up with some good information. You're the one that led me to Jason Giorgiani, and for that, I owe you 1,000 thank yous. And thank you for this. We will be watching you daily, looking for you to stumble, as we know you will. You have stumbled a lot recently, as my latest 3 articles can testify. Your change of assignment? But we'll go into that another time. Y'all have a good day, and keep fighting the good fight. And put Richard Spencer back in line. Tell him to, look, if you're going to undermine the Holodomor narrative for whites, please undermine the Holocaust narrative for Jews. It's only fair! Bye.